Every year, representatives of civil society organizations, think tanks, youth leaders, and academics come to Washington to attend the spring meetings of the IMF and World Bank. An IMF-sponsored fellowship program enables these representatives from several low-income and emerging countries to attend the meetings. The program provides a chance for these participants to be part of the discussions of economic and development policies, and for us to build more solid understanding of the fund, its mission, and how it goes about its work. We have accompanied several of these participants during the week of the spring meetings and asked them to share their views and expectations.
I think the spring meetings are a very busy moment, and of course an opportunity to meet people with similar interests and different interests as well, and to see a convergence of views around the work that the IMF, together with its partner, the World Bank, do together with governments throughout the world.
The main goal of my work was to create a platform for citizens and public to participate in formulation of decision making. Also, in order to participate in those kind of activities, they should be well informed in order to have efficiently raise their voice.
That the Civil Society Policy Forum is a fascinating platform for the interaction between the invited civil society organizations, between the CSOs and the IMF and the World Bank staff and experts, and sometimes between the CSOs and the governmental officials.
This time, the Civil Society Forum featured 63 sessions on a wide range of subjects. Many of these touched on the work of the fund, including a full day of discussions on the future of Africa, debt limit policies, discussions of inequality and fiscal policies, and conditionality. It is not only a great opportunity for us to learn from the participants, but for the program participants to learn from one another.
It was very interesting to see, actually, to know the opinions of all the CSOs and how important it is for all of us to be heard.
Many of our countries have a big sector that is outside the legal system.
It's a little bit because we feel frustrated in the majority of our countries. Developing countries don't have a big ear where we have spaces to share our needs and the needs of the people we represent in a way. So it was very, very interesting.
The forum showed that we've come a long way in working together. Working in our member countries is no longer about interacting with the government and central banks. Civil society representatives everywhere are finding their voices in framing issues that can become part of the solution.
Actually, one of the main things that I learned is that the IMF is open to receive big critiques and also to receive questions from the civil society. I was quite surprised and really impressed with the level of debate.
For every single program, there are requirements that the central bank has to meet.
And also, I think that this initiative should continue.
There is a lot of speak about transparency, more than in fellow countries. In Bosnia, in middle of Europe, there is a less transparency than in IMF building.
For many institutions that come from, say, the African continent where I live, it's very expensive to actually get to this. And yet, think tanks, specifically direct think tanks and advocacy groups that deal with the economics issues separately, are not here in sufficient numbers. So perhaps a spread of your networks and your linking is important to ensure that you capture them.
Mozambique now is having a boom of natural resource and is growing for the last 10 years, 7 to 8%. And this creates a lot of expectation in the youth, like we're gonna get, because there are a lot of investment, but these investments more are around mega projects, and mega projects are more capital intensive and they don't hire so many people. And when they hire, they need skilled people.
The IMF values dialogue as we're building these partnerships. Our engagement with civil society is critical for achieving economic growth in a rapidly changing world.